Who's that girl? La 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 la. Honestly, I really don't care, but for some reason, I'm still gonna watch. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis, and of course, keeping it real when it comes to theme parks. And in this video, I'm going to be reviewing episode 1 of the Disney Plus MCU series, She-Hulk, which premiered last Thursday. Now, first of all, this video is coming a little later than I'd actually intended for it, but I really wanted to give this series a fair chance and this episode more than one watch to make sure if what I thought I was seeing was actually real and was it legitimate instead of just, you know, just being difficult and throwing spice just to throw spice. So, after a couple of watches, your girl is back to review episode 1. So, a couple of things before I get started with this to kind of level set. Number 1, I am not a She-Hulk comic aficionado. I knew of her, but if it was a choice between the She-Hulk comics and collecting the X-Men comics so I could check on my girls Jean Grey, Storm, and Rogue, that's where I went. I went to X-Men. So I knew of her, but, it is what it is. First of all, I'm an MCU person for the most part when it comes to the Hulk. I do not like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk at all, but that's just me. Also, obviously I'm a woman, so you really can't really call me sexist with any real credibility because of my opinions on this show that may not jive with what Twitter wants you to believe. I'm also a professional woman. Apparently, Jennifer Walters in this series is a lawyer. Again, professional job. Also, I'm an engineer, so I work in an industry that is very, very much male dominated. So I'm kind of coming from looking at this series from my background as that. So, all right. Got my wine. Let's get started. So basically, here's the overall plot. Pretty much what you saw in the trailer for She-Hulk, except the She-Hulk trailer did a really bad marketing job, and it made the series look crappier, actually, than it was. I do have a couple of nits, but I will say the final product looked a lot better than the trailer. Dang, y'all really need to pay attention to the quality of the trailers before you release them. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I will be doing spoilers in this review. So 3, 2, 1, you've been warned. So we see Jennifer Walters starting off, practicing her closing arguments in front of her colleagues. Fair enough, right? I like how she kind of does that. You see like the office banter, and then she breaks the fourth wall and basically says, "Hey, I need to tell you how I became a Hulk." You find out how she becomes the Hulk, and basically in the end, you know, she meets Titania, her adversary, and that's pretty much where it ends. So let's talk about what I liked. Okay, so one, I like the cousin banter between Jen and between Bruce. Again, I can't stand Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, so I really did like Jennifer kind of saying that basically she's the better Hulk. I realize that might rub some folks the wrong way, but hey, it is what it is, my opinion. I thought it was funny because I give my cousins a ration of crap. I always think I'm better than them. Even when the evidence points otherwise, I still think I'm better than them. But you know what? That's cousin banter. So I did like that. Even when Bruce wound up pushing her ass off a cliff and she flipped him the bird and she tells him that it's a D-bag move. I'm paraphrasing. And it's just like, yeah, but that's how cousins do. So I did like that. Even the scene where, they're practicing throwing the boulders and everything, and he throws it, and then she throws it further, like, yeah, I'm really good. Then Bruce takes it and throws that sucker into orbit. I like that. She's just like, okay, oh, yeah, I guess you showed me. Yeah, I guess I showed you. Funny cousin banter. I did like that. Two, I did like the acting. I have zero problem with the acting going on in this particular show. I really haven't had an issue with the acting in the MCU Disney Plus shows. So, you know, pleasantly surprised. I was not aware of who Tatiana Maslany, I believe I said her last name probably incorrect. I'm sorry. I've heard she won an Emmy and did a lot of great stuff. So I had no problem with her acting. I actually really did like her, along with the rest of the cast. I like the fourth wall breaking. One of my okay, granted it wasn't MCU, but it was still Marvel, which of course is Deadpool. I like the fourth wall breaking, and they seem to handle this pretty well in this. They didn't really overdo it, which is something that I liked. It was just enough to remind you that this isn't your regular MCU show. I like the Cheeto chopsticks. Had not thought of that. I actually thought that was really funny, but you're kind of missing it without getting the Cheeto dust on your fingers. But anyway. And the last thing that I liked in this, which was the end credits song. I love Eve. She is an amazing, amazing no mumble rapper. I love her to death. That song was freaking, yeah, I like that. Who's that girl? La 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 la. I liked it. Too bad I didn't really give a crap about Jennifer Walters. So when I heard the song, I was thinking more of Eve singing it than thinking of Jennifer Walters as She Hulk. Now let's get on to what I did not like. Okay, so I did not like the majority of the comedy that was in this. A lot of it fell flat. It felt like it was trying to be Ally McBeal and trying horribly to be Sex in the City. Ally McBeal, I didn't watch because I just wasn't flipping interested. But the one or two episodes I did say, I enjoyed seeing and I laughed. Sex in the City did not take itself seriously. It was nuts. It was crazy. And it didn't demonize men. So, that was a fun show. This show, no, no, the comedy just does not land. And whoever is writing the script, the comedy's not working here. It's really not. Marvel has a certain level of comedy, but it has to be something at its very basis, something that's funny. And I just found the Cheeto chopsticks and Bruce pushing Jen off the cliff. Those two things I thought were really funny. Oh, and Bruce throwing the boulder in the orbit, that was funny. But that's only three real laughs. The rest of it, I was just like, that was bad. I didn't feel the passage of time between when Jen got her Hulk powers to, in the car accident, to all of a sudden she wakes up in Mexico someplace. It was very disjointed and it didn't really explain how Bruce got out of the car and then all of a sudden you're in Mexico. They did a tell instead of show. So that part didn't get executed very well and it was irritating, and I think they only did it so they could have a scene of her outside this bar in this, what do I want to say, it looked like a hooker jacket, pretty much is what it did, and to guys catcalling and saying stuff to her like, hey baby, can't you just smile or whatever, and she just hulks out. Didn't they do that in Captain Marvel? it was just as annoying in Captain Marvel as it was in this episode. So, yeah. I didn't like the whole. Why you got to talk about Captain America's virginity? I mean, why is that of interest? I I really didn't feel that they should have really wasted time on that because I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it interesting. I would rather they have talked about Rogers the musical. I would have liked that. And dang it, I still want to see Rogers the musical. Disney, that's a missed opportunity. You need to do that. I didn't like, I really couldn't stand this. I didn't like the fact that this whole episode basically was about Jen being the better Hulk. She should have been the more different Hulk, not the better Hulk. It seemed like she was better at everything. Her blood was better at synthesizing it. She's better at keeping who Jen is and who her Hulk persona is all in one neat little package and it never falls apart. We like our heroes vulnerable. We like our heroes to show growth. There's no growth here. There's like nothing for her to do. And Bruce is telling her the importance of because if she doesn't control her anger, just how dangerous she can be. And to her, it seems like it's a joke, like, I want to get back to my life. And she says, I don't want to be a superhero. Now, I do understand that. And I did like the whole thing of, I have these superhero powers I didn't ask for, but I already have a life, and this is going to interfere with my life. And how is all that going to work out? I would have liked for them to have spent more time on that instead of her basically saying under, well, basically they're showing you and telling you on no uncertain terms that Jen is the better Hulk. I don't care. I want her to be the more different Hulk. Like I like the scene when they were practicing and Hulk's like balancing and at yoga and everything, and Jen has the better balance and all of that and agility. That makes sense because as a woman, she has a lower center of gravity, and that would have worked. I like that. But no, you're not making me want to like Jen Walters Marvel. Not at all. Which brings me to my last thing that I did not like. And frankly, it's the one that really made me the angriest. When Bruce is basically trying to say, hey, look, you really have to learn how to control your anger. And let's face it, women are much more emotional than men. So that would have been a great plot point to use. But did we get that? Do we get that? How that would make her a different Hulk with the way she handled it and not a better Hulk than him? Actually, put a pin in that for a minute. Okay, the other thing that I really didn't like, I can't believe I'm just thinking about this now. When he's showing her that big, huge, thick ass binder, saying it took him 15 years, I literally said to the screen, I bet you she finishes that in a darn week. Yeah, didn't she do that in like a day? Bump this chick. Jennifer basically tells Bruce that she doesn't need lessons in controlling her anger because she is infinitely better at it than he is. Yeah. And if you think I'm making this up, tell you what, check it out. Let's actually listen to it.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street,
Okay. Catcalling in the street. She acts as if somehow, because you are catcalled in the street, and I feel like she's trying to speak for all women, and let's not get it twisted. They pretty much are in writing this. When I get catcalled, okay, I don't have anger boiling up. I don't. There's a difference between, hey, miss, you look nice today. Have a nice day. and raunchy disrespect, but she's not making that kind of distinction. It's just basically, when I get catcalled, I have to manage my anger. Okay, well, granted, when you get disrespected and you get catcalled like that, you have, a couple of options. You can either say something back to them, or you can just suck it up and move on, because there's more things that are more important. That's a choice on your part. Some of us aren't angry when that happens. Some of us are just like, we have better things to worry about than some rando saying something to us that we didn't particularly like. But let's proceed.
When incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or I might just literally get murdered.
Okay, so let's back up to the part about incompetent men trying to explain your own profession to you. Okay, I have had that happen. I have had some douchebags at work try to explain my own area of expertise to me when they know infinitely less than I do. I've had that happen. And I've had to tactfully school them to basically say, you don't know what you're talking about. Prove to me that I don't know what I'm talking about. You see, I'm not saying this doesn't happen, because it does, but just because some dude says something and tries to make it seem like you don't know how to do your job, you don't necessarily have to get angry at it. There was a time in my life when I did, when I was much younger, but now it's just like, okay, prove me wrong. If you can't, let's shut up and move on. If you're higher up the food chain, it's just like, I respectfully disagree. Please tell me where I am wrong. If I'm wrong, I need to eat that. If I'm not wrong, then you need to acknowledge that. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of women like this chick, because there are plenty of them out there that if you challenge them on the crappy work that they've done, they'll try to say, oh, well, you're trying to mansplain to me. Or if you're a woman, they'll say, well, you have internalized misogyny. No, I have a low tolerance for nonsense and mediocrity. And you need to be called out on that. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Yes, there are idiots out there, but there are worse things to be angry about. And this is not it at all.
So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Okay. She said it. She does it infinitely more better than he does. And Marvel, this is where I decided that I really don't care about her. I don't. If I didn't have to review this show, I would have dropped out. But I'm reviewing it, and there's one reason I'm actually still really hanging in there, and I'll get to this. Well, let's see here. I don't feel it from her that she's good at controlling her anger. I think she's good at it whining. I would have loved for her to give examples of people that she has tried to fight for in court, and things that went wrong with those cases to help those people that went wrong. Now, that's some anger that anyone could tap into and understand. And if they would have come up with examples, like that, like say someone that she fought for, maybe it was a case where it was like, it was a drug that gave a child, some kind of inoperable brain tumor or something like that, and the child wound up dying. And with all that money, there was nothing that they could really do, even with that judgment, to help them. That's some anger that the audience could tap into and understand, and be like, yes, we understand, and we know that's going to make you angry, and look forward to when she gets pissed off in court because some slime ball is trying to get over on her client and she just hulks out. I'd be ready to cheer for her, but not this whiny heifer. Not at all. So, my final thoughts on this episode is that it could have been written so much better than it was. It feels half baked. Nothing was a surprise. from what we saw in the trailer, and it's just like, why should I bother watching the first episode? It just wasn't a good first episode, which is a shame. Now there've been not so great first episodes, but enough for me to say if I wasn't reviewing this, I'd watch it. And that's what happened with Hawkeye. I was like, I like Clint Barton, and there was enough sympathy for me. Well, there was enough sympathy that I felt for Clint Barton and that I felt for Kate Bishop that I hung in there with those episodes because I cared about those characters. The writing in this, you were making me not like Jennifer Walters, and you are making me like her nemesis, the villain Titania. Now, I'm rooting for Titania because y'all have the audacity to put her in that ugly ass outfit and do that really, really stupidly bad stunt. And I just feel for Titania. So I am hashtag Team Titania, hashtag messy heifer. I mean, even the actress Jamila said she's a messy heifer. Well, she didn't use the word heifer. This is what she used.
And she's it to the maximum. She's just the messiest in the MCU, and I love that about her.
So it's something wrong when I feel more sympathy for for the for the arch enemy than I do for the hero. But it is what it is. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this a 3. I really would. Again, if I wasn't reviewing this for my channel, I would not even bother to go back and watch this. And I tell other people, you know what, forget it. Just go back, read the comic books, because it seems to me that yet again, you have another series where they're kind of like comics optional. Again, they did a better job adhering to the comics in Hawkeye than they did with this incarnation of She Hulk. All right, so that's your girl's opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think, especially those of you who used to or still read the comics She Hulk. Am I imagining things? Seeing how just not good this is, and that I just have zero interest in Jennifer Walters? I would love for y'all to tell me. That'd be great. Or if you're just like, hey, this episode was off the chain, I can't wait for the rest of them. I would like to hear your comments as well, because I love hearing from y'all, especially when you watch my videos and notice all the spice and salt that I'll sling at things. All right, folks, this is going to wrap up this video. I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button. And if you didn't get any value out of it, well, thank you for watching anyway. So until the next video, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh God, I got seven more episodes to watch this. Drop me one recommendations in the comments.